Hey, Ceramics A. Thanks for logging in today. Today I'm going to talk to you about these tiny pottery shards that you see here. This is a pottery shard that is thousands of years old. It is a piece of woodland pottery, and it was found in rural Wisconsin by a friend of mine who's an architect for the DNR in Wisconsin. And this tiny piece of pottery dates back from about between 1000 BC to 1000 AD during the Woodland era. Now, the Woodland era is a time when there were only indigenous people here in North America. And it predates named tribes. So the people of the Woodland era were the people that eventually would become the Chippewa Native Americans, or the Ojibwe Native Americans, or the Sioux Native Americans. But at that time, they were just the people of the Woodland era, back again in 1000 BC. So during that time, a transition was happening in the technology of these indigenous peoples. They were moving away from being nomadic tribes because during that time frame they were learning how to cultivate crops, keep the seeds from those crops over the winter, and then be able to plant those same seeds to create a harvest for the coming year. And that was a big deal because prior to that, they had to wander around and follow the herds for their food source. The weather was also stabilizing after the Ice Age, and so they were able to form civilizations, stay in one place, cultivate their crops, and basically make a pretty good living. And so they had the time to start developing technologies such as basketry. So the people of the Woodland era were expert basket makers. And to be able to store their seeds in the baskets over the winter, they would smear mud that they got from their riverbank inside their baskets. And then the mud would harden and they would store their seeds in there. And so that way, mice couldn't chew through the baskets to be able to get to their seeds throughout the winter. And so when the baskets would eventually break down, they would take these baskets and they would throw them into their fires to burn the baskets away. But what they found was this mud that they had lined the baskets with became hardened in the fire. And so you guessed it, what they actually had discovered was not mud, but clay. And so these people of the Woodland era became very excited because this special mud became really, really, really strong when it was exposed to fire. And so what they would do is they would weave themselves a basket because they were very good at that technology. They would go and get this special mud, in other words, clay, from the riverbank, smear it inside their baskets, and then immediately put it in the fire. So the basket burned away, and what was left was the clay shell that was inside the basket. And that's what this little shard is. If you look really closely, you'll see a slight texture on that shard of clay. That shard of clay is recording the imprint of the basket that it was once smeared inside. And so that is the history of how pottery and the forming of vessels such as this were created in this part of the world in during the Woodland era from 1000 BC to about 1000 AD. So now you are going to take that knowledge. You're going to take the quiz that is on Schoology. And you are going to take care of that before 3 p.m. today for your attendance. All right? Thank you so much.